Good morning, Mr. Gungu, and good morning, my friend. We are from Group E. Today we are going to discuss about the assignment 5. Our group consists of Aisyah Afifah, and then Afif Haidar, and then me, Muhammad Dzulfikar Farkhan, and then Muhammad Ridho Fitrianto. So there are three topics that we will discuss today. The first one is opening case discussing about fake news, and then the impact of the DP technology and advancement to job positions, and then the last one is closing case discussing about the Pirate Bay. So now I'm going to talk about the opening case fake news. So in this case, there are four questions that needs to be answered. So the first question is what made the initial tweet go viral so quickly? So based on the article, there are two reasons why the tweet go viral so rapidly. The first one is that the topic of the tweet is related to the 2016 USA president election. The initial tweeted by Mr. Tucker was related to the elected President Donald Trump in 2016. So as we know that Donald Trump uh, elected as president is very controversial. So the topic the about President Trump in that time was very easily spread and very popular in that time. And then the second reason is the election news popularity is very high in that situation because Donald Trump itself used Twitter as one of his campaign media. So the popularity about news about election is very high in that time. The second question is why does fake news sometimes spread faster than true stories? There are two reasons why fake news spreads so rapidly. The first one is people only read the headline. Uh, there are many people that just read the headline of the news without reading the content of the news. So they are just being triggered because of the headline of the news without reading or even pay attention to the essence of the news itself. They just reading the headline and then just go straight forward to share the news without confirmation or without checking the fact about the news. So that is why uh, fake news is spread so rapidly. Uh, and then there are also some medias that contribute to the spread of fake news. Many people often share the news to social media like Twitter or WhatsApp without finding out the truth about the content of the news. So yeah, there are that is the reason why the fake news spreads so fast. And then the third question is how does fake news relate to doing business on the internet? Many content creators, publishers have taken advantage of the fact that so many people now obtain their news via social networking platform. False information may be a lucrative business with viral stories earning many amounts or huge amount of advertising money for publication that develop and publish them. The more people click on certain story about, especially in this case about fake news, the more money online publishers receive from advertising. And for many of them, social media is an excellent platform for sharing information and driving traffic to their websites. So the last question is, what should Mr. Tucker have done after he saw the buses that could have prevented this incident? I mean, the first step is quite easy. Mr. Tucker should just go to the location and then confirm what is happening. So he will know about true the true incident in that time because what Mr. Tucker did is that he just assumed what happened and then he directly go to Twitter and then tweet about it and then it turns out to be a false information which create a chaos condition in that time. And then the step, second way is easy. Just do not tweet at all. It is sometimes better to just stay silent or do not go to Twitter and then assuming something because uh, making a tweet without the actual information is very risky because yeah, back to the topic again about fake news. It has the potential to be turns out to be a fake news, which is very dangerous for the social media for other social media users and also for Mr. Tucker itself. I think that's the end part of my presentation. Then the next part will be discussed by my colleague. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to explain about the closing case, the part B1. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first question. So the first question is compare the TPB legal problems to those of Napsters between 2000s and 2005 and those two Kaza file sharing companies. Okay, first of all, I want to explain about the companies Napster and Kaza. Both of these companies used to peer file sharing system, which is also discontinued because of the copyright issues. Back then, Napster focused on music sharing, while Kaza was commonly used to exchange music files, videos, application, and more. And if we talk about their legal problems and legal challenges, Napster have this. They first got their company sued by the heavy band metal Metallica, uh, and then they also got shut down by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals and A&M Records. As a result of this, they faced three different allegations. The first one that is the user were directly violating the plaintiff copyrights. The second one that Napster was responsible for contributory infringement of the plaintiff copyrights. And lastly, that Napster was responsible for the futurist infringement of the plaintiff's copyright. On the other hand, Kaza got first sued by Buma Setra, or it's a Dutch music company. However, Dutch music company lost the case in response to the customer empowerment sold to Kaza application to the Sharma networks. Hence, after the incident, they want to convert their company to a legal service. In 2003, Kaza signed a deal with Altnet and Streamwave to convert user to paying legally customer. And then they use a system that where in the Kaza will offer a free 30-second sample of songs after they sign up for a subscription payment. They will get the full feature. However, this never happened because Kazani owner was sued in LA by major labels and motion picture studios, such as Universal Music, Sony Background Music, EMI, Warner Music, and many more. And they have to pay about $500,000 to compensate for their damages. And in the end, Kaze and Napster have to end their official services because of their legal challenges in copyright. Okay, next. I'm going to talk about the debate of the issue of freedom on the internet against the need to protect intellectual property. Okay, so I'm going to explain what the freedom of speech. So the freedom of speech refers to the ability to speak freely without any fear of censorship. And this freedom of expression is sometimes used interchangeably, but it relates to any act of seeking, receiving, or transmitting information or ideas regardless of medium. And in practice, no country right to freedom of speech is absolute, and it is frequently subject to restrictions such as those prohibiting libel, slander, and incitement to commit a crime, and so on. And regarding copyright and intellectual property, this is still debatable until this day. Although there is like a third corollary right, it's called the access of knowledge or A2K that declares a right to enjoy the arts and share in scientific advancement and its benefit. But this is still a gray statement because and also this includes open access initiative like digital libraries, open courses, and also open access journalism. And the corollary to this is that everyone has the right to benefit from protecting their arts and material interests, and therefore, like the right to have an education, A2K can be required for freedom of expression. However, it's still debatable to find the balance between A2K and copyright, because in this digital age, where user can upload copyright content and then download it without permission, the institution of copyright is being questioned, because in 2012, an NGO called Article 19 convened an expert meeting in London to discuss the relationship between between freedom of expression and intellectual property rights, and it sees the licensing of digital information as an intellectual property as a problem for digital freedom of expression. As a result, it is currently working on principle of freedom, free expression and copyright in the digital age. Okay, so next, I'm going to talk about the part-based business model and what is the revenue sources. Okay, so in this case, I will divide it, the business model into four, which is what, who, why, and how. So the first one is what. They can provide blockbuster movies, music, premium games, and paid software that can be downloaded for free. And then, who is the target consumer? The second one. In this case, their target consumer is those who usually pirated different type of files, including all generation that already discovered this company. Third, how is the value proposition created? Their proposition is that this website or company can run smoothly with lots of mirror proxies, because their company use a peer-to-peer system. So even though their founder already got caught by the government, this website or company will still run across different countries, and this make Pirate Bay a regular website for their client to find license and premium files for free. Lastly, why is it profitable? In this situation, I want to explain more about the revenue income as well. So next. Okay, so what are the revenue sources? There are three in this case. The first one is ads, donations, and sales of merchandise. And then their income usually comes from those three, but the main revenue income for Pirate Bay is their ads. Because in this case, their ads on the website usually contains borderline illegal stuff, such as gambling ads, no safe for work ads, scams, and many more. And because of this, Pirate Bay can still operate with a different proxy server from all around the world. Next will be explained by Ridho. Thank you.
So I will explain the next question, which is number 4. Explore the internal legal aspects of this case. Can one country persuade another country to introduce stricter laws? So, mm, countries right now are using website blocking to target those websites involved in large-scale infringement of copyright-protected material, as shown by the fact that some of the most notorious infringing sites are now blocked in multiple countries. In the European Union, at least 17 member states, including the United Kingdom, France, Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, Denmark, Norway, Ireland, Sweden, Italy, Spain, Portugal, and Greece, have enacted website blocking, while others have relevant laws but have not used them, such as the Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Malta, Poland, and Romania. So, as of April 2018, it is estimated that over 1,800 websites and over 5,300 domains used by such sites have been blocked in the European Union. So, we can conclude that using the local legal system to sue infringing websites that operate out of countries such as China, Russia, and the Ukraine can be difficult and frustrating because copyright laws are not always enforced, and conventions can also be hard to obtain. However, instead of attempting to litigate in those countries, a longer-term solution is to encourage Western governments to lobby those countries and the industries to better enforce copyright laws. There is Ben Algrove, a partner from Baker and McKinsey in London, noticed that As the developing economies become part of a globalized marketplace, they will need to control the levels of piracy at home if they want to benefit from protection in other countries. The incentive is reciprocal protection, whereby IP rights from their country are protected in other countries too. So when we look at the China and ask them to take down illegal content, the compliance rate tends to be around 70%, unlike in Europe, uh, where it is 98%. Firms and governments lobbying these countries' governments will eventually bring compliance rates up. In the UK, it is possible that Section 17 of the Digital Economy Act, which would which could allow website blocking injunctions, could eventually be used to block access to these foreign pirate sites. So, there is Anti-Counterfeiting Trade Agreement or ACTA that is also currently being negotiated by a number of countries. The intention is to create an international treaty to improve intellectual property rights through better international cooperation, stronger enforcement, and a clear legal framework to deal with large-scale counterfeiting. And according to Algrove, the ACTA is similar in structure to the Digital Economy Act in that it would require ISP to play a role and take some responsibility to act. But it is very high level and non-specific at this stage, so it is too soon to tell what impact it may have in practice. There have also been discussions as to whether ACTA should have a similar certification process to the digital economic. So the next question is read the stone article and which of these measures can be used in the Pirate Bay case, which cannot and why. So now technology has improved and pirates can easily divert authorized broadcasts from TV networks onto their own websites. They have powerful computers, broadband connection, and operation in countries such as China, Sweden, and the Netherlands, which have less rigorous copyright protection laws and anti-piracy enforcement. Sport leagues, like media firms afflicted by digital pirates, are fighting back in whatever manner they can to slow that expansion. They have formed in an industry coalition to shoot each other and pressing for more aggressive copyright legislation. So the domain names of 10 foreign-owned websites that had become hotspots for sports fans hoping for free online broadcasts were seized by federal investigators. Fans began visiting sites such as ITTHE or ITnet.net based in Sweden. From that day forward, they have always been greeted by a web page featuring the emblems of the Justice Department, Homeland Security Dep, and the National Intellectual Property Rights Coordination Center. So there are many ways in order to overcome the increasing number of pirated content in the internet. One of the important things is also to fix the human resource or the performer uh, that are able to do the hack and stream it on their website. All of the solutions mainly are applicable for the TPP, including by giving notifications, uh, lawsuits, lobbying, enforce strict rules, investigate their network or their link, and collaboration and coalition with the private company to sue it on the government. So the last question is, how is the status of the TPB's website? So when it comes to BitTorrent, the Pirate Bay or TPB is the most popular and trustworthy site, It contains a large collection with practically every type of information you can think of. Authorities have attempted to shut it down multiple times since its inception in 2003. It is nevertheless, it's still the number one choice for anyone looking for torrents. As of now, the website is actively operating, and 100% still can be running, even though not in all over the world. However, new statistics has revealed that the pirates' base traffic has doubled since the ISP blocks have been issued. So, why DTPB is still being the number one choice for anyone is because of the stability of the Pirates Bay torrents files and well-organized site structure is being the major factors in the site's long-term success. The filling of its torrent sites with advertising, on the other hand, is a significant negative. As a result, if you want to use it safely, you will need a good ad blocker. Thank you. That's all from our presentations. Thank you for your attention. We hope you apologize if we made mistakes in the presentations. Thank you.
So, impact of DB technology advancement to job positions. In here, I'm gonna presenting our research on this matter. So labor is rapidly being replaced by machines, not only in blue collar or typically we can call it uniform, but also in white collar, the one with suit and tie employees in offices occupations. Since the Industrial Revolution, many have claimed that automation is displacing them from their employment. While some occupations are being eliminated, others are being created as a result. Proponents of automation think that employment has increased overall. Opponents assert the inverse. The issue now is that automation is happening at a much faster rate and at a much wider scale than in the past. So, uh, so due to the increased technical rivalry or competition between businesses and the present circumstances like pandemic of COVID-19 that we are having now, that necessity more that need more usage of technology in the workplace, and it caused the rapid growth of automatization. So there are several possibilities for the future work. The first is that regular and low-skilled occupations will be phased out and replaced by technology. Secondly, human machine integration positions will undergo a structural shift in the roles and responsibilities. And lastly, more specialized employment opportunity will arise, such as those requiring a higher level of creativity as well as technical expertise. In this slide, since many non-routine tasks can now be automated using sophisticated algorithms and developments in MR built on top of big data, occupations that require complex perception and manipulation tasks, along with cognitive abilities such as creativity and social intelligence, are unlikely to be replaced by computer capital in next decade or two. The likelihood of an employment becoming automated may thus be characterized as a function of these work qualities. The figure here yes here provides a sketch of how the probability of computerization might vary as a function of bottleneck variables. We can see that in the social intelligence, with high social intelligence such as public relations, the probability of computerization is lower than the one with less social intelligence, such as dishwasher. It also applies with the creativity variable and perceptions and manipulations. Here, the example here for for uh, something that less creativity but much probability of computerization is court clerk, and the otherwise is fashion designer. The one where in the perception and manipulation is surgeon, and the one with no perception and manipulation is telemarketer. It can easily replace because of the computerization. Next is, despite the fact that automation may eliminate some employment in Indonesia, the country's economy will generate many more by 2030, resulting in a net gain. According to a scenario that places automation adoption at the midpoint of our range, almost 16% of total Indonesian working hours may be mechanized. However, new labor demands such as growing wages and greater expenditure of infrastructure may more than offset the lost employment. So here is research from McKinsey and Company. It predicts that in Indonesia may have positive story about all of this automation and the future of work, because many more jobs will be created to 2030 than are lost to automation. Indonesia may acquire between 49 and 23 wait yeah, between 4 million and 23 million employment as a result of this variable. Uh, this includes 10 million of jobs that will be new types of occupation that don't exist yet now, in accordance with previous innovation trends that have led to the creation of new job opportunities. uh, in overall, uh, to capture the productivity benefits of automation as presented on the slide before, we as Indonesia need to learn new skills, so that demand for work that is not easily done by machines will increase. It includes unpredictable physical activities, interacting with stakeholders, managing and developing people, also data collection and processing along with predictable physical activities, because it could most affected by automation with a decline in working hours for all three tasks. And also the fact is an increasing share in jobs in Indonesia will require college and advanced degrees, because Indonesians who complete secondary education will likely see the largest net change in employment to 2030. In overall, we may draw the conclusion that the wave of digitalization and automation innovation may lead to a loss in employment and productivity, as well as a change in the structure of the labor market. Improving Indonesia's educational standards is now critical in order to keep pace with the rapid pace of change in the digitalization and automation innovation. To provide the groundwork for a more competitive economy in the future, government investment in human capital is required in Indonesia. It's important to be aware of automation's frequent faults, and to remember that the technology might one day completely replace human work. So all stakeholders will need to prepare for substantial changes affecting the future of work. Companies such as labor agencies, industry associations, educational institutions, non-profit organizations will need to start planning for and transitioning into the future of work now, with long-term learning programs both for people affected today and those possibly affected in the future.